What's up, everybody? It's Silent. And as some of you may know, I'm currently working on my first documentary on La Perla, Puerto Rico. And while in Puerto Rico, I was searching for someone who had a boat who could take me out to the ocean because I wanted to get some shots of La Perla. And as luck would have it, God sent me Jose El Campos. Campos turned out to be a sports fisherman who has been fishing for the last 70 years. And as I connected with Campos, I realized I had to spotlight this extraordinary character and share his story with the world. I personally feel like this is one of my best interviews yet. So sit back and get to know Jose El Campos.
My name is Captain Jose El Campos, native of San Juan, Puerto Rico, born quite a while back. I'm 83 years old, and as you have seen, the fruits of my fishing in the ocean for the past, I would say, maybe 70 years. And I remember when I was a little boy, my father brought me a boat from Vieques, a small tin boat, 8 foot. And then from then on, my love for the seas and fishing has been a long, whole lifetime affair. The love of the ocean runs in my blood. My father started the first West Marine type store in Puerto Rico back in 1938. Our love for the ocean doesn't start with me, doesn't start with my father. It starts with my great-grandfather, Don Jose Campos. He came, I don't know what his ancestors came from. I know that they came from the Canary Islands in Spain. And they first came on a boat and they stayed in Aguadilla. That's on the west side of the island. And then they migrated towards San Juan, and that's when he bought the vessels and he started the trade and so forth. And then my dad had the same thing in his blood, because when I was little, he had a boat right in front of our home on the beach. And he used to go fishing at night for yellowtail snappers, groupers, you name it. And the fishery was tremendous. In a couple of minutes, you could catch 50, 60 pounds of fish. Now, maybe 1 or 2 fish, and little ones. And when you catch the little ones and you don't put them back in the water, you are doing what we call overfishing. The smaller the fish, the less there will be in the future, because those small fish haven't had a time to spawn. Spawn is mating. If they don't mate, they're not going to have any babies. So what happens? That fisherman, and now that is happening now, they go to the same place every day. And what happened? When you used to catch fish 3-4 feet in length, has now dwindled to maybe 12 inches at the most. We call that growth overfishing. And that is when we are reaching the point of no return. So I believe that we need more law enforcement here in Puerto Rico regarding the fisheries. If you do not have that, you might as well not have any laws. Here it is. Here it is. A Cangrejos Yacht Club tournament. May the 20th in the year 57. This is the first one I won. And this was the first tournament given by Cangrejos Yacht Club here in San Juan. and I caught a blue marlin weighing 430 pounds. It was a big tournament. I mean, it was a big fish on a little trophy. Fishing is strange. The expectations that you receive from the day that you start on going fishing, maybe that night you're going to have a hell of a bad night because you're going to be thinking about tomorrow, because you want to be on that boat and you want to catch fish. Everything is in a hurry, or everything is in turmoil. The ice, the bait, the rods, the reels. Some people sometimes forget that they're hooked up to shore, and when they take off every electric current that is connecting them from the vessel to land, and or they're tied up to a dock and they tear up the cleats that are tied up to the dock. That's what we call the expectation of what am I going to catch today. All right? And then when you go out, and first when you leave those lines from the boat ashore, the tie-up lines, I feel as I think the day my mother brought me into the world, when the umbilical cord is cut, I'm free. I'm on my own now. And that is where that primitive instinct of I want to catch fish so I can eat fish and I can survive and so forth. All right, some species, of course. But it's the expectation of what am I going to find. Remember, the ocean is not a lake. A lake, you know, that you have fish and they grow up to a certain stage and weight, and that's it. But out there, when you go out with a bait and so forth, and you're looking, trying to catch one of these big tunas or marlins, it's just another world. In the lake, the biggest one that you can catch is this size. Out there, the biggest one is longer than my arms and huge in weight. I have been very lucky in the majority of the tournaments that I have won. Luck, to me, is 99% of fishing. You can have the best captains in the world, you can have the best boats in the world, and if you don't have that factor of luck, you're sunk. You're going to get skunked. This award was awarded to me by the Club Náutico of San Juan for membership into the Fishing Hall of Fame of said club. There's only 3 people in it. 2 of them are deceased. Ángela Barca, Esteban Beard, and I'm the only person that's alive belonging to that Hall of Fame club. I would say that I have been very, very lucky for having a family that never tried to curtail my activities as a sport fisherman, because it's a sport, if you are dedicated to it as I was, where you sometimes forget you have a family, especially on the weekends. Why? Because the tournaments usually run from a Friday to a late Saturday, late Sunday finish, and even though your family is waiting for you at the, but still you're not with them. You are not enjoying those days by taking your kids to the movie or to an amusement park or to the beach or up to the mountains. You are not doing it together. They don't have a father during those weekends. And they have to be very, very, I would say, non-selfish. And like my wife, she never complained. She says, while you are at sea, I know that you are in good hands, and I don't want you ashore with all the women that are ashore. There he is, winning a tournament at Cangrejos Yacht Club, right there, my boy. He wanted to be a charter boat captain. So I bought a boat. I sent him to Houston Marine Institute in New Orleans to get his captain's license. And he did get his master's license there. He came to Puerto Rico. And at that time, I was working, I was the chair of the Caribbean Fishery Management Council, and also working for the Puerto Rico government as the boating law administrator. So I bought him a boat, and he started fishing for a living, charter boat fishing. He was a hell of a very, very good fisherman. But he had one thing that was going against him, and that was that he was a diabetic. And he was not a follower of instructions. And he had to jab himself about 3-4 times a day. And he also liked to imbibe. He liked to have his beer and so forth. And he was a hell of a mate and a captain. I'm very proud of him. He died at the age of 47. His ashes and my wife's ashes are in the ocean, and that's where my ashes are going. In 1975, parent-child tournament, first place, parent-child team. So as you can see, I am no Pinocchio. I can prove all those words that have gone out of my mouth today. I don't think there's words that can really focus on what my legacy. I would like for people to be more conservation minded. All right? Let's not catch everything today. Let's leave something for tomorrow. Let's leave something for the future generations. Take a kid fishing. And I kid, I mean both genders, male and female. And tell them about conservation. Please do that. Please do that. And you'll be my long lifetime buddy. Thank you.